know we gon' talk about it. Let's talk about it. Get in here, we in here tonight. So get in here, we in here to vibe.
Hey, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me. Hi there. Hi there. Happy Thursday evening. We are back. We are back. This is our second one for today. I was going to say third one, but this is our second one for today. So let me know. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you so very much. Welcome back to my channel. This is Talk About It with Amora. We will be discussing the Holly and Romeca. Really, Holly, to be honest with you, we will be talking about the Holly case because at this point, that's what it is. It's a Holly case, okay? Because, you know, like we said yesterday, she has been charged with first-degree murder. So we will be talking about the Holly case. Of course, we will mention Romeca because she's involved, right? But we will be talking about the Holly case, okay? Thank you so much, Candy, for showing some love. She said, respect Amora and respect others in the chat. No name calling and no disrespect. Hit that thumbs up button, please, and thank you. Bush watchers, you do it too. We know y'all in here, and they are. And if they ain't, they will be. You know, they get the notifications, Amora live, Amora live, Amora live. They're going to come running. And bless the host with a super chat. Ow. Yes, you guys, if you want to bless this live stream, please do so by sending a super chat, super sticker, or even a Cash App. And the Cash App number is Talk About It 2024. Talk About It 2024. All right. So let's get right into it. Before we do, let me just say that everything on this channel is allegedly. All right. It is allegedly. I'm definitely not trying to defame nobody's character. I am just giving my analysis on it from a legal point of view. I am not a lawyer. I am not a paralegal. I have never been a lawyer, but I know how to read and I give my interpretation of what I see. All right. What I read, what I comprehend. All right. So that's what we're doing today. And today's topic is, well, before I get into today's topic, I want to touch on a few things. Okay. One, I got tagged like, I don't know how many times, several times with the reporter, Tia, I think her name is Ewings or something like that, talking about Romeca was never served a restraining order. And also she went into some more details that about the case. And I'm just going to say like this. I don't know where she's getting that information from because she was very much served. And not only that, I have the transcripts of when she was in court in June the 18th. And I went over that already. But also, and I'll go over that another day, but not today. But also on top of that, it was also a publication ran through the paper. But nevertheless, when she missed court on the 14th of July and the judge signed off on it, right? When the judge signed off on the restraining order, it was considered lawfully active. Lawfully active. So to be honest with you, I don't even know why she keeps saying that she wasn't served. She wasn't served. It doesn't even matter, but she was served. But it doesn't even matter because once the judge put his signature on it in July the 14th, it made it a lawful active restraining order, okay? A stalking restraining order. Or actually, it's a stalking no contact order. I'm sorry. A stalking no contact order. So I'm not even sure why she's even saying that. Now, another thing, let me just tell you what I've heard so far, okay? There's several people that's saying that this case went before the grand jury. Well, I found out today that it did not. The case did not even go before the grand jury. Raise your hand if you knew that. She said, did I get what you sent? Did you get what I sent you? If it's that Tia Ewing's video, I don't want to see that. I done got it about 50 times. So if it's not that, I'll go look. But if it's that Sip and Laugh, I don't want to see that. I've seen that already. And I don't mean to be rude with you. You know, you my girl, but I don't want to see that no more. I couldn't even get all the way through it. I was like, oh my God. And then somebody was like, oh yeah, she's big in the Justice for Romeca group. So she's very biased. I didn't even know you could be that as a reporter that worked for a news station. I thought that you had to kind of be neutral. I thought that if you had your own channel, you could be biased. But I thought that if you work for a news station that you had to be neutral. So I don't know. But nevertheless, it is an active restraining order. So there was not a grand jury. A grand jury did not look over this case at all. So yeah, it was all the prosecution. He made the decision, the charging decisions in this case. Now, what did kind of I'm gonna get into my commentary in a minute, but give me a minute. But what did kind of blow my mind is that their grounds, or should I say probable cause, is from a witness statement. A witness statement. And I'm kind of taken aback because the witness statement has been out for a while. The witness made a statement, rather quickly. So the witness statement has been out for a while. So I don't know why they waited almost 3 months to make or to charge with probable cause when the witness statement was already out. David is in the house. Hey, David. He said, that's what I've been telling them. There were no mention of a grand jury in court today. Yeah. So I found out that there was no grand jury and no indictment. She said, hi, Amor. A reporter just read the paperwork and Holly mentioned that this was her first time meeting Romeca. Yeah, that's true. I've already covered that though. This was her very first time meeting her, not very first encounter with her. They've had encounters like, she was getting harassed and phone calls, text messages, and inboxes. But yes, this is the first time they actually met in person. This is the first time they ever laid eyes on each other in person. Okay. And I guess she just wanted to, first time meeting her, like, oh, well, I want to handle you or whatever, But I do feel like the judge was biased. Oh yeah, I heard you was in court today as well. But I did hear, which I did not know, but I heard that it was a lot of support for Romeca, but I also heard it was a lot of support for Holly in court today. So it's not just one-sided. It may be one-sided on social media, but I heard that it was also supporters there for Holly as well. Okay. She said witness statement and blue cameras that are on light poles is certainly neighborhoods is on film people. Well, we'll talk about that, but not today. We'll talk about that, but not today. But also heard, let me just say this before we get into this, that Holly will not be home on the 23rd either. So she will be spending Christmas away from her family. Because the judge basically already said today, if you appeal and, and come back, I will deny it again. Okay. So the judge did say that today in court. So on the 23rd, it will be, that's a continuation of the detention hearing. So she will not be out on the 23rd of December. So she has to wait before it goes before a trial judge. So they will be switching judge. You have to understand right now, this is a first appearance judge, which they also call them a bond judge or a detention judge or a first appearance judge. So that judge already said the fist bump that was brought up in a witness statement, that they fist bumped each other like afterwards saying, you good? You good? Yeah, I'm good. Like, yeah, we did that, right? So the witness that made it sound like it was a planned attack and that they celebrated afterwards, well, yeah, the judge bought that today. The judge bought that today. So the judge said it did not sound like self-defense, and hence why he did not release Holly today, and said that if you appeal and ask me again, I'm going to tell you no. So she will be in there until it goes before a different judge, and that is not until January. So they go back December the 23rd and again in January. So she would definitely be in there. However, she's not in the general population. So actually she is, well, I don't want to say exactly where she at, but she's not in the general population. If it comes out, I'll mention it. If not, I won't. But she's not in general population, so she don't have to worry about that. All right. What else I wanted to say? I wanted to say something else before I get into my commentary tonight. There's something else I wanted to say. Give me a minute. I think of it. She is in the psych ward. No, she's not in the psych ward. She's not in the psych ward. She's definitely not in the psych ward. She said, so the judge did not watch any videos or nothing. No, he has not. And also the judge didn't even know about the restraining order. The judge did not know about the restraining order. So that came up at the last minute. However, more of that will come out. She said, is it true that she's pregnant? Yes, it is true that she's pregnant. But that will come out. The videos, the evidence and stuff. Okay, let me just back up a little bit. When I say the judge didn't know about a restraining order, so when I told y'all earlier today that the prosecutor was going to be able to present their a small portion of their side and what they have that, you know, made them charge her, and then the defense team was going to be able to present a small portion of their side. Well, the defense didn't get to present much at all. Okay, so they'll be doing that on the 23rd. So really, the judge didn't know a lot about what's going on, what's really going on today. He did not know a lot about that. So he doesn't really know about all the threats. The threats was mentioned, but not shown and, you know, seen and all that stuff or whatever. So the judge doesn't know the depth, the in-depth, but he's not supposed to. He's not that, they're not on, you know, they're not on trial right now. Okay. When trial starts, we will see exactly what they saw that made them charge her. Well, what made them charge her, from what they said today, Reek, is the witness statement. They are pretty much relying on the witness statements. That's what made them charge her, is the witness statements. Okay, the witness statements saying that she approached that she approached Romeca, that Romeca didn't approach her, and that she ran up and shot Romeca. You know what I'm saying? That's what the witness statement said. That's what that Tia lady said. But I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't believe that. And the reason why I say that is because we saw with our own eyes where Romeca's body was. And now Tia is trying to say that the body was moved. I'm not buying that. Now, of course, if it comes out that they can prove that, then I'll buy it. But I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that they moved a body. I'm not buying that, because I would think, you know, that this is not their first rodeo, right? That they would be able to discover that, you know, drag marks or blood, you know, blood stains here, blood stain. I would think that they would be able to, and they would need forensic evidence for all of that. So I believe that is hearsay. Okay. So yeah, so that is what, so basically the prosecutor is going by pretty much the witness statements. Okay. How did they move a body and people saw the shooting? Yay. Divinely, I was shocked when I heard that. I was like, wait a minute, what? She ran up on her? I'm like, nah, I don't know about that. Because neither one of the witnesses well, let me take that back. So I do have both witness statements. But I want to do that in another live. I'm gonna compare both witness statements, and I'm gonna break it down, and we're gonna go over what's similar and what's different, and then the contradictions. So I'm not gonna do that on this live. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, but I have both witness statements. And both witness statements are being used, but it looks like the prosecutor chose to use the one that paints Holly in a bad light, because the other witness statement actually says that Romeca was the aggressor. But I have both witness statements, their full statement, and we will do a comparison tomorrow, okay? And I will say this, and David, you have a very good point, and that's another reason why, hence the live we're going to cover tonight. He said that's why the witness statements are contradicting, because if you remember on Key's live, the witness came on there and said she was crawling to him. Yes, I do remember that. But not only that, both witness statements contradicting each other. So you have two. Well, actually, I think it's okay. Hold on. From what I know right now, which it may be more, but from what I know, we have, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, so please don't take it as such, but we have the Puerto Rican witness and her boyfriend, and then we have another anonymous witness, and then we have Carlos. So that's 4 witnesses right there that we know of. Again, it may be more, but we know of at least 4 because the Puerto Rican girl and her boyfriend wrote a statement, okay? But their witness statements contradicts the anonymous witness statements, okay? It contradicts. And then, of course, Carlos' statement is totally different than, than their statements as well, all right? Now, and when that happened, it causes confusion, you guys. When you have multiple witness statements and they are contradicting each other, it causes confusion. So this is, I want you guys to know, and I wanted to say this earlier today, this is not going to be an easy win for the state. This is not going to be, and I'm not saying it will be an easy win for the defense, but what I will say is that because of the contradicting in the witness statements, it's not like they're going to say, oh, let's take this statement over this one, or this one is telling more truth than this one, right? Because if the defense can find one hole in either witness statement, it will be considered non-credible. And you don't have to believe me, you can look it up. It is so easy for a defense attorney to deem a witness non-credible if they find one little hole, one inconsistency. So with that being said, now for the Justice for Romeca, the witness coming out and jumping on 2 different platforms, and it may be more, but I know at least 2, that wasn't a good thing for her to do. That was not a good thing for her to do. Okay, because that means she told the police one statement, she told Keys one statement, and then she told another blogger another statement. So what they'll do is compare them all. And if there's just one inconsistency, or if the story grew, because you have to understand, when I say inconsistencies, I'm not just talking about a lie. I'm talking about, oh, you didn't tell me that. Oh, you adding on stuff? Because that's what happens. That's what witnesses do. They be like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, yeah, this happened too. And then they start embellishing, which is making up shit. Putting sugar on shit, fluffing it out. You know what I mean? Making it look real pretty, sprinkling little sprinkles on top. You know what I mean? They start embellishing. Okay? She said, Tia said the judge kept Holly in jail because there was a shot and then a pause, which made him feel it wasn't self-defense. He also felt she should have been walking around free, according to Tia. Well, I don't know about that. And to be honest with you, I don't really care what Tia says anymore, because when Tia said that she wasn't served a TPO, she lost me right there, because she was in fact served a TPO. Okay? And there's proof. But I was shocked to find out that the judge didn't even know about the TPO until like almost the very end of, the hearing. Okay. All right. So, but again, about the, let's just go over what we're going to talk about. So today, the name of my live stream today, and again, tomorrow, I'm going to do the one, I'm going to break down both witness statements and pull out the similarities, the differences, and the inconsistencies in their own statement if they made more than one. So I'll do that tomorrow. But for right now, I want to get into what we're going to be talking about tonight. So again, it says, what are the chances Holly Johnson case goes all the way to trial? And I know some of y'all are saying, Amora, are you stupid? Are you crazy? What do you mean? What do you mean? Because I had a lot of people in here earlier that said a prosecutor won't charge first degree if it's not first degree. Thank you so much for Children 2 grand. Can I get you guys, I'm going to put you on a small pause. Can I get you guys to step out for 1 second and hit that thumbs up button? All right, here we go. Okay, hopefully you guys hit the thumbs up button for your girl. Please and thank you. Hit that thumbs up. That's all you have to do. Is actually totally free. All you got to do is hit that thumbs up. When you hit the thumbs up, that means YouTube sends it out to a lot more people when you hit the thumbs up. If not, nobody gets to hear what I am talking about. Okay. So, but let's get into what are the chances that Holly Johnson case goes all the way to trial? Again, what I was saying earlier is that a lot of people think just because a prosecutor charged you with a very high charge, which first degree is the highest, that that means that they got some serious ass evidence, and that means that they feel like they can win. That's actually not true. I did a little digging and found out that in Chicago, when you have a death involved like this, they automatically try to charge the highest and work their way down. Okay. She said, "Can you read my comment? Where's your comment? Can you if I gotta go up too far, you may okay, is it this one? Or more so was Holly and Romeca in court or not? Because someone said Holly stated that day was their first time meeting. Oh yeah, no, they were definitely in court. They were definitely in court. I have all that evidence, and I actually thought I showed y'all, but they were definitely in court. So when they said meet, they mean meet like in face to face. This is the transcripts, you guys. They were definitely in court. Okay, you see what the petitioner says, Kadasia Johnson, and then the respondent is Mrs. Blackman. She called her ugly and everything in court. So I have the whole transcript. So that's why I said that reporter is not being factual on some things. And yeah, so I mean when they're not being factual, then that means, and I'm not a reporter. I am a blogger on YouTube. I run my own channel. I don't work for a network or anything like that. I run my own channel. So I would think if you work for a network that you would do a little bit more research than me, right? You would do a little bit more research than me. So they have more resources to do more research than me. Only thing I'm doing is Googling, chat GPTing, and then reaching out to some people, right? But they have more around them, or more availability to get more research done. So if she's coming out saying certain things that just wasn't true, then it got me side-eyeing her. And I'm not talking about her. I'm just saying, as a reporter, I wouldn't come out here and say something completely false without totally looking over it a couple of times. But I'm a blogger. Just understand, I am an independent YouTube blogger, right? I don't have the resources that these reporters have, or the expertise that they have. They have journalism skills that they went to school for. Y'all, I'm just an HR rep. Okay. Well, actually, an HR manager. Let me get it right, child. Let me get it right. So, but anyway, they were definitely on a Zoom together. So, yeah. So this is the first time they actually met in person, but they have definitely seen each other on the Zoom call. But Romeca Blackman absolutely knew about this restraining order. Okay. All right. So anyway, let me take that down. So she was not served the judgment because Holly got the TPO through a default. Blackman wasn't there. She got it through a default. However, she wasn't there that day, but she was there the prior court date. Yayo. She was there June the 18th. She wasn't there the final day. She wasn't there the final day, but she was definitely served. Once the judge signs off, which he did on July the 14th, it was actually ran through a newspaper publication. That is considered an official serving. That is considered an official serving. Don't take my word, just look it up. Just look it up, okay? So she was absolutely served. The restraining order is absolutely active and in effect, okay? And was in effect on that day as well, all right? So trust me when I tell you, she knew all about it. And there's also text message evidence where she actually text her baby daddy, Carlos, asking him, why did she do this? Why she put a restraining order on me? So she 100% knew about this restraining order, okay? She said, but Holly was not supposed to be at the scene. That's not true. That's not true. Holly was definitely where she was supposed to be. That's not true. Holly was definitely legally allowed to be over her baby daddy's house and walk to her vehicle that was parked on the street. She was legally allowed to be where she was supposed to be. Okay, so that's not true. Mira, Moraine, how you say your name? Maria, Maria. I don't know how to say your name, but anyway, it's pretty. But she was absolutely where she was legally allowed to be. All right, but let's get into what we're gonna talk about tonight. Okay, can the state prove the case, and also what are the chances Holly Johnson case goes all the way to trial? Okay, just because they charge it don't mean it will get all the way to trial. So let's talk about that. All right, let's talk about that. She said Holly went and got the gun and came to Romeca to unalive. That's not true. I don't know where you're getting this from, but she had her gun on her, and that will actually come out in court. Okay, she had her weapon on her. All right, she very much had a weapon on her. All right, so what are the chances Holly case will actually go to court? We're going to break down and talk about how the prosecutors decide whether a case is trial worthy or not. Now, I told y'all on my live earlier that a case for the state can cost them a lot of money. Why is that? Because, baby, if self-defense is accepted by the defense, which I believe that it will be, okay? That's just my belief. I believe that it will be after they see all the evidence from the defense. I believe that they will accept a self-defense plea, okay? Or claim, should I say, or plea, claim, whatever, same thing. Once a self-defense claim is accepted, in order for the prosecutor to be able to prove their case that a first degree or murder charge, they have to call in a lot of people. And those experts that they call in cost a lot of money. So it can literally cost the state anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000 just to try to prove their case against Holly. Why is that important? Because the prosecutors don't want to spend that much money if they don't know 100% that they will secure a win. If they feel that, that is gangster leaning on inconsistencies in witness statements, okay? So if they don't feel like they can beat this case hands down, then they don't want to push it forward. They will ask for a plea, hoping that Holly will take a lesser amount of time, a lesser charge, a less amount of time, just so it won't go to trial. But they'll do whatever they can so they won't have to move the case forward. The prosecutor do not like spending, or let me just say the state. The state does not like spending an ass load of money just for them to lose. And in a case like this, they would have to call up a lot of experts. So you know how that reporter came out and said the body was moved? They gotta be able to prove that, okay? Or Holly ran up and shot Romeca. They would have to prove that, everything. The autopsy report, the trajectory report, the ballistic report. They will literally have to have experts for every last one of that. And guess what else they need an expert for? They actually said she showed no remorse. So now they will need some type of behavior health specialist or body language specialist to break down her behavior, her body language, and all of that, right? So they will have to hire a lot of experts to come in to try to help them prove, that what they are claiming on Holly is actually true. Hold on a second. She said, respectfully, how do any of us know what truth, especially using Google Chat GPT and reaching out to a specific side of the case? No one can speak with certainty. But if you feel that way, then why would you listen to anybody? If no one can speak with certainty, then why would you listen to any blogger speaking on it? That doesn't make much sense, Miss Tia. It's just sit back, listen. You know, if you enjoy the commentary, stay. If not, go where you like what they're saying. But if no one can speak with certainty, then I just don't understand why even involve yourself with listening. This is, you know, I put on the bottom. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if I need to make it bigger, but everything I say on this channel is allegedly. So I don't understand why that was necessary. But let's continue. Let's continue. I don't think anybody can speak with certainty unless they're the person themselves about anything on YouTube. And I mean anything, even reality shows. So we have to be a little careful when we say things like that, okay? There's nothing that anybody can speak with certainty unless it involved you, unless you was there. So this is just what we do. We do commentary, and it's just based on our opinion. All right, let me continue. So, where was I? Okay, so the case will become very, very expensive. But how prosecutors decide whether a case is trial worthy? All right, so being charged with first-degree murder does not automatically mean a jury trial is coming. I know people thought that earlier because they said, Amora, is no way the DA or the state will charge first degree if they don't think that they can win. Not true, you guys. Not true. There's plenty of cases where they've charged first degree and they lost, or it didn't even make it to trial. Okay, let me give you an example of one right quick that did not even make it to trial because a young lady came in here earlier and said that she has never heard of a state, I think she said DA, but a state charging first degree without having enough as evidence to secure the case. All right, so this case, let me bring it up for you right quick. It is let me bring this up for you right quick. Oh, this is too long. Let me see if I can get a smaller clip. Okay, this one right here. All right, let's bring this up. Because this happened in the state of Illinois as well, all right? Let me know if you remember this case right here.
Be looking at a story about Carlicia Hood. Carlicia Hood is facing a murder charge after she allegedly told her son to shoot a man she had an altercation with. It happened on Maxwell Street Express at 11656 South Halstead Street. This took place at 11:12 p.m. in Chicago, Illinois, at the Far South Side restaurant. Hood, who is 35, was waiting in line for food when 32-year-old Jeremy Brown started arguing. According to prosecutors, Brown's girlfriend was encouraging the argument. Next, Brown punched Carlicia in the head. After that, Hood allegedly texted her son, who was waiting in the car.
Get your food! Woo, get the cop! Woo! Hey, get your food! Get your food! If you say one more thing, I'm knock you out. Oh my God, I say one more thing, I'm knock you out.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought it was going to show it. I didn't want to show it. So do y'all remember that case? He said, if you say one more thing, I'm going to knock you out. So she was still talking and he started wailing on her. So she texted her son that was in the car and told him to bring the weapon, right? And that happened. And came in and he pop the guy. He was charged, him and her, both the mother and the son was both charged with first-degree murder. First degree. They both was charged with first degree. People are saying it's not the same. I understand it's not the same. All I'm proving here, you guys. Listen. Calm down. Calm down. Maybe you just got in here. All I'm proving right here, you guys, is the young lady said they will not charge you with first degree unless they can prove and beat the case. That's all this is. That's all this is. Calm down. Calm down. So what I'm trying to tell you is both the mom and the son were both charged with first degree, and it was both dropped before trial. It didn't even go to trial. Why did I even bring this up? Because they can charge first degree without even reviewing all the evidence. Okay? Now, what I do know is Holly has not even made a statement. So they charge her with first degree and they don't even know her side of the story is what I'm getting at. Okay? She has not even made a statement. She has not made a statement. They only have one side of the story. Can a prosecutor charge with only having one side of the story? Yes, they can. They absolutely can. That's all this video was about, you guys. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue. And mind you, this story, they were both charged with first degree and both charges were dropped. The son and the mom charges were dropped. Okay. So with that being said, let's get back to our commentary. So where are we? So being charged with first degree does not automatically mean a jury trial is coming. The prosecutor has to evaluate whether they have consistent narratives. If the witness accounts, physical evidence, 911 audio, and body cam footage don't align, the case becomes very weak. Very, very weak. And when I say witness statements, I'm not talking about just one. I'm talking about all the witness statements. If it's inconsistencies, physical evidence, 911 calls, body cam footage, if they don't align, the case becomes weak, okay? Not enough evidence to prove intent. For first-degree murder, the state must prove Holly acted without justification and with knowledge that her shots could KI Romeca Meeks. If self-defense is credible, intent becomes harder to prove. So we have to wait and see if they buy Holly's self-defense claim. Now, let me tell you something that a lot of people may not know. They don't have to accept Holly's self-defense claim. They don't have to buy it. A judge could literally say, nah, don't sound like self-defense to me, and we're not accepting a self-defense claim in this case, which means if they don't accept a self-defense claim, then they got to figure something else out, okay? But if a self-defense claim is credible, then the intents become harder to prove, all right? So a case that will survive a jury, if prosecutors feel a jury may sympathize with Holly, especially being a mother that had a restraining order and documented threats, then they start hesitating to take the case forward. Now, I don't think that would be the case I don't think that would be in this case. And the reason why I say that is because right now there's more justice for Romeca out in the Illinois area than it is free Holly or fair case for Holly, okay? Another thing, and I mentioned this briefly, but a budget-friendly case. Murder trials are very expensive. They need expert witnesses. They have to reconstruct experts, okay? Which means they got to go out there and reconstruct the scene. They got to put a person in this place and put a person in that place, and maybe a witness coming off the bus, and, you know, they got to reenact that whole thing, right? All of that stuff costs money, right? Digital forensics, medical testimony, all of this can cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. If the state sees too many obstacles, the case will not go to trial. Okay? Why self-defense cases often fall apart in discovery? Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Discovery is when the defense gets everything the state has. Video footage, body cam, autopsy report, interviews, phone data, everything that they have. Right now, the defense don't have all of that. The attorney don't have the full package. The defense attorney right now don't know everything that the prosecutor knows. They don't have access to that yet, but they're going to get it. They're going to get access to all of that. And once they do, baby, that's when the defense attorneys start to work. That's when the real work starts, okay? So self-defense cases fall apart for the prosecutors when the evidence supports fear of imminent harm, which means if Romeca approached aggressively, made any threats, or lunged at Holly, okay? You know what? I'm going to sit you out because I'm trying to go over something and you're being very disruptive. So I dealt with you earlier and I tried to let you slide, but you're going to have to sit in the back seat of the car today, okay? All right, let's continue. So where was I? So if evidence support fear of imminent harm, if Romeca approached aggressively, made any threats, or lunged at Holly, even unarmed, which means she didn't have to have a weapon, she didn't have to have a knife, she didn't have to have a brick, she didn't have to have a cross, right? She didn't have to have nothing. So unarmed, that matters legally. So again, if Romeca approached aggressively, made any threats, or lunged at Holly, even if she did not have a weapon, that matters legally. Also, why self-defense case often falls apart in discovery. The person claiming self-defense had reasons to believe the threats were real. Documented history of harassment, stalking, or threats will strengthen Holly's case. I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that, but I'm letting you know. A lot of people say a restraining order doesn't mean that gives her a legal right. You're right. You're absolutely right. A restraining order does not give you a legal right to unalive somebody. You are absolutely right. But a restraining order is considered a documented history of fear, harassment, stalking, and threats. Okay? That's documented. That's court legal documented. All right? Another reason why a self-defense case may fall apart in discovery is physical evidence matched the defense version. Blood location, body positioning, the distance, and wound trajectory all matters. If discovery favors the defense, the prosecutor often pull back and reassess this thing, okay? Now let's talk about the role of the restraining order against Romeca, because this is huge and prosecutors can't ignore it. All right. Now, you may say, well, the prosecutor probably already know about the restraining order. They may know about it, but the prosecutor is not going to do the defense job. They're not going to pull no restraining order. That's for the defense to do. That's for Romeca and, for Holly and her team to do. They're not about to do their work. So they're the ones that have to go pull that restraining order and use that for their evidence. The prosecutor ain't studying no restraining order, okay? They're not interested in a restraining order, right? But once the defense present that restraining order, then guess what? They're going to get a little interested in it. Why? Well, because a restraining order legally says this person is a danger or a threat to the person that took out the restraining order. That is what a restraining order says. When the judge order a no contact, stay away 1,000 feet or whatever, it basically says that this person is a danger or a threat to the person that took out the restraining order. It is huge. and the prosecutor can no longer ignore it. Okay? Which means Holly was already viewed as someone needing protection against. Okay? Or should I say needing protection? Holly was already viewed as someone who needed protection. That's what a restraining order means. Okay? Romeca was legally prohibited from contacting, approaching, or threatening Holly. If Romeca violated that order, and which she did, it introduces unlawful aggression on her part. Now, this is where people do not understand. A lot of people say if she stopped to talk to her baby daddy and not talk to Holly, then she was legally allowed to be there. That is not true. That is not true. So if they find that Romeca violated an active lawful restraining order, then unlawful aggression will be introduced because she pulled up when she was not supposed to. Okay. And the jury takes restraining orders very seriously because it shows historical conflict and potential danger. All right. Now let's talk about how the past threats and harassment shapes the legal outcome of this case. If the threats Romeca made were documented and can be proven via text messages, social media, inboxes, any witness accounts, then it is very powerful. Courts consider pattern of behaviors. Was this an ongoing issue? Seriousness of threats. Were the violence specific or repeated? Now, we heard on some of the threats that she called the grandmother and said, I'm going to KI your granddaughter, Kadeja. But also we heard that she says, when I see you, I'm gonna beat your ass or something to that nature or whatever, right? And it was several of them, not just one, not just two, but several, almost 20. Almost 20. Okay. So seriousness of the threats, were they violent, specific, or repeated? But also, did Holly try to avoid conflict before? If Holly followed the order, stayed away, and tried to de-escalate in the past, then it will help her defense. Meaning, let me explain that to you. Holly is the one that went and sought the restraining order. But did she follow her own order? Did she stay away from Romeca? Did she try to de-escalate anything in the past? Because if she did what I just said, followed her own order, stayed away from Romeca, tried to de-escalate anything in the past, like blocking her on social media, blocking her on the phone, or blocking her on the DMs or wherever, right? That's considered de-escalating. That's saying, I don't want to have anything to do with you. If she did that, then that will help her defense, because past threats don't excuse homicide. All right. But what they do help is justify her self-defense claim. It will help her in a self-defense claim. Okay. Why conflicting witness statements create reasonable doubt? This is big, because let me explain something to you guys. Probable cause, right? You can get a charge. But to get a conviction, you need reasonable doubt. Again, probable cause, which is something easy to get. You can find probable cause. So you can get a charge. But for conviction, you need more than probable cause. You need reasonable doubt. Okay? Reasonable doubt. So what does that mean? Conflicting statements are a nightmare for the state, baby. We already heard it here on YouTube. We heard one witness say Romeca was the aggressor. And if you're just coming in, I'm going to break those witness statements down tomorrow, not tonight. Okay? But one witness says Romeca was the aggressor, and another witness says Holly was the aggressor. All right? So why conflicting witness statements create reasonable doubt? Because they're conflicting. But let's go over some of the no, you know what? I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. I was gonna go over some of the contradictions, but I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow. But just know that conflicting statements, it is a nightmare. They don't like that. Because now you got to figure out which one will you believe. Are you gonna believe Holly was the aggressor, or are you gonna believe Romeca was the aggressor? Okay. All right. David said beyond a reasonable doubt to get a conviction is what I think you mean. Yeah, beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you, David. Beyond a reasonable doubt. The same thing is a reasonable doubt, but yeah, beyond a reasonable doubt. So I'm gonna save the conflicting statements that they did for tomorrow. I'm not gonna go over that now. So creating reasonable doubt and conflicting witness often created by themselves. This is one of the top reasons prosecutors will drop or reduce a charge. If they already see, damn, this witness said this and this witness said that, right? They will, most of the time, they will drop or reduce a charge, okay? Now let's continue. What the judge bond ruling actually reveals. Judges do not decide guilt at a bond hearing. They look at flight risks, danger to the community, how serious the charge is, and initial strength of the evidence as presented by the prosecution only, not the defense. The prosecution only. Okay? That is what a judge bond, a bond judge, that's what they look at. Okay? They look at, is Holly a flight risk? Is she a danger to the community? How serious is this charge? And the initial evidence from the prosecution only. The judge made a comment today that Holly lacked remorse. But guess where he got that from? He got that from the witness statement because the prosecutor read off that they fist bumped after the shooting. So when the judge heard that Holly and Carlos fist bump, he immediately said, fist bump? The fuck? Why would they do something like that? That doesn't sound like self-defense to me. That is what the judge said out of his mouth. And let's be honest. Let's be honest, right? If I was a judge and I heard that, whether it's true or not, whether it could be proven or not, if I was a judge and I heard that the shooter and her boyfriend fist bumped after unaliving someone, then I wouldn't grant bond either. I would not allow her a release either. Because that sounds very egregious. It sounds heartless. It sounds lack of compassion. It sounds, I don't give a care. Okay? So the judge repeated it and said, fist bump. That doesn't sound like a self-defense case to me. So guess whose job is going to be to discredit the witness? Well, the defense, the attorney. She's going to have to discredit the witness. How is she going to do that? Well, she's going to take those statements and she's going to dig real deep in those inconsistencies. She will eat those witnesses for lunch. But we're going to talk about that another day. All right. So the judge, again, when he commented about a lack of remorse, that was based off a witness statement about a fist bump. When somebody said, what is a fist bump? That's when you, I don't know why you would ask that, but nevertheless, that's when your fist bumps the other person's fist. Like, yeah, man, we did that. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a high five, but you just use your fist. That's a fist bump. Okay. All right. But anyway, bond hearings are only one-sided. The defense usually hasn't presented full discovery yet. This ruling does not mean the case is strong. It only means the judge wants more information. All right. Now, let's talk about the costs of these expert testimonies that could change the state's strategy. Murder trials require use of force experts, crime scene reconstruction experts, ballistic experts, trauma and psychological testimony, right? Autopsy, doctors, digital forensics. These cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? And Illinois does not like spend that type of money, but I don't think any state does, right? So if the state sees the case turning into a he said, she said, they may have said, okay, then they will automatically drop it from first degree to second degree. Even they may offer a plea deal. They may reassess the self-defense, or they may just say, you know what? We're canning this trial. We're going to avoid this altogether. Now, I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they may. They may. Get it right. So I need y'all to understand this, because it'll be 5 bloggers tomorrow saying, Amora said, because they don't listen. They just assume. Let's continue. So what is the realistic path for this case? Well, there's several different paths for the case, and let's go over them right quick. All right. And then I'm going to start reading your questions. The realistic path for this case could take on many different paths, right? Let's go over option A. The case dismissed outright. If evidence strongly supports self-defense, the prosecutor can drop the case even after charging someone, okay? Now, do I think that will happen? No, I don't. I think that they will push it forward as much as they can, okay? But that is an option. They can just straight up dismiss the case outright. Option B, they can reduce the charges. They can go down from, like I said, murder 1 to murder 2 to reckless homicide or even manslaughter, right? Option C, offer a plea deal. If the state thinks a jury might acquit, they offer a lesser plea to avoid losing. Oh, the state don't like to lose, baby. The state does not like to lose. So they may offer a plea deal, all right? And option D, full speed ahead, full trial. And this happens only if both sides are deadlocked and the state believes that they can win beyond a reasonable doubt. If the state believes we got this in the bag, we got this, ain't no way Holly can get out of this, they're going to go for a full trial. All right. Now, based on the restraining order, the prior threats, the witness contradicting statements, the physical evidence questions, Holly's self-defense claim, the discovery not being complete, meaning that the defense attorney have not did all of their discoveries, and the cost to prosecute this case, it is not guaranteed that this case will go to full jury trial. In fact, cases like this often get reduced or dismissed once discovery comes out. Let's talk about discovery right quick. What is discovery? Baby, discovery. That's when they dig deep. When they dig deep and bring out everything, right? When they go over the video footage, the text messages, the threats, the restraining order, when they go over all the evidence that they have to call other witnesses that Romeca has done this to, because there are more. It's not just Holly. I know a lot of people are like, oh, send Holly away for 25 years. Well, guess what? It ain't just Holly it ain't just Holly that has been attacked. All right. It's other people that will come forward. And there's other people that will come forward. Okay. So once the discovery is made and they bring out all the evidence, everything is laid out, And the prosecutors say, oh, damn, I ain't know this happened. I ain't know she did this and I ain't know she did that. But once discovery pulls out everything and lay it all out, then they can literally either reduce the charges or dismiss it altogether. All right. So that is going to be something to marvel at, right? So again, will the state be able to prove this? Not easily. No, not easily. Will they be able to prove first degree? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Okay. I highly doubt that they would be able to prove first degree. So I can see already that they will try to offer a plea or reduce the charges, or, you know, if they go full speed ahead and go to trial, I think they're going to have an uphill battle. Some things you just cannot ignore. Some things you just can't look over and be like, oh, well, the witness said this. We don't give a damn if she, you know, made threats prior in the past, 19 threats. We don't care nothing about that. We don't give no damns how scared she was. We don't give a damn if her son was in the car. We don't give a damn. That just can't happen. That has to be taken in consideration. I know a lot of people want to omit that, but you can't. You can't omit that. All right. She said, that's it. I mean, David said that's exactly what Holly lawyer said directly to the state. Which part, David? What did she say directly to the state? Let me know. She said, Amor, you have patience of an angel. I just couldn't. I'll be like, F this. I'm going on a cruise, but you stand your ground for people that really need you. I applaud that. Beautiful. Okay, thank you so much. But yeah, no, I'm not going on a cruise no time soon, baby. But thank you for that. I appreciate that, Christina. She's Tamika. Hey, Tamika Michelle. She said discovery is when they have all types of evidence that's submitted from both parties to review. Yes. Okay. Yes. The discovery is bringing out all the guns. See, the prosecutor don't know that this has happened to other people, right? Because Holly has never given a statement. You have to understand, and I commend Holly, but Holly reserved the rights to remain silent, right? So she has not given a statement. So they don't really have nothing to go on but the witness statements at this point. You have to understand when Holly, well, I think Carlos may have given a statement, but when Holly come forth and her lawyer tells the story and bring out other witnesses, and when I say other witnesses that this has happened to, I do believe there was a mutual friend that they had together, that mutual friend was being something, I don't know, contacted or whatever in regards to Holly and stuff like that. When all of this stuff comes out, baby, we get to hear it all now. We get to hear it all. See, we wasn't able to hear it all because there was no charges filed. So now that charges are filed and it may go to court, not court, but trial. If it goes to trial, which I actually think it will go to trial, right? I actually think it will. I do think I don't think it's going to be dropped. I actually think, I think it will go to trial. So because it goes to trial, I think we're going to find a lot of information out that we have not heard about on both sides. On both sides, I believe we'll find out things about Holly that we didn't know, and we're gonna find out things about Romeca that we didn't know. Okay. She said, read my comment. She said, Amor, Carlos was interviewed today and is airing at 9 p.m. He was interviewed by who? Let me know. She says, Amor, do you think this is going to bring out a lot of stuff about Romeca that some are not going to be happy about? I think that it's going to bring out a lot about Romeca that people are not going to believe or accept. Yeah, I do. I think they're going to be like, oh, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. So, yeah, I do believe that a lot of stuff is going to come out that people are not going to want to accept. Yes, I do. She's like, more, what about the man? Hold on. What about the man in this? What do you think about him? You talking about Carlos? Is that what you're talking about, Carlos? She said, Carlos, the piece of shit baby father, is going to speak up tonight, Amor. You know, when I first started this, I thought he was a piece of shit too, because I actually thought that he blackened her eye until I found out that he actually didn't blacken her eye. And I found out that she actually cut him and he dropped the charges because, you know, that's his baby mama. So I found out quite a few things that was not made privy in the beginning. Okay. And I also heard, oh, he's been sleeping with her and the other girl at the same time. And then I found out that he wasn't sleeping with her. So there's a lot of things that I found out that was not told correctly in the beginning because, you know, people paint narratives. And for that, yeah, I don't know how much of a piece of shit baby father he is because a lot of lies were told on him. Okay, a lot of lies were told on him. So I can't say he's a piece of shit. I heard he was very active in his child life and he actually, you know, poured into his child financially. So I can't, you know, they all loved him before this, you know. She said, we finally get a chance to see the CPD pod surveillance video. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. And not only those, but other cameras that was around as well, because I heard there's other camera footage that is available. So hopefully they will allow us to see it, because I would love to see what the hell they saw. Okay. Carlos is only worried about clearing his name. He's upset about the chokehold claim. And I think he's upset about a lot of stuff, like he was still sleeping with his baby mama and sleeping with old girl at the same time. And, you know, I just found out that that's not true. Him and Holly actually been together for a couple of years. So he had stopped, you know, Romeca had moved on, but a lot of people, bloggers, and even family members of Romeca has put out here that they were still sleeping together. And I found out, well, I don't know if it's true or not because I'm not inside his pants, but I found out that that was not true. Why did they take down Romeca's other Facebook page? Because that page had a lot of bad stuff on it. The page is gone. It was there 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm not sure, but trust and believe whatever's on that page, they already got. They already got. Carlos was arrested for beating another white woman and pushing her in the car. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jen Hen. Appreciate you. I don't think Carlos is happy about this. They didn't plan this. Unfortunately, this is what happened and he is living with it. Yeah, I definitely don't think it was planned whatsoever. And I don't think that he wanted his baby mama unalived at all. I could see the frustration or the shock in him, the way he was pacing around the body and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, I feel like if he didn't give a damn, he wouldn't even been over there, like looking over her body or nothing. So I definitely saw that he cared about his son's mom. What do you think about Holly's being pregnant? I mean, what do you mean? What do I think about it? I don't know what you mean. What do I think about it? I don't even know how relevant that is, but what do I think about her being pregnant? I don't know. God told us to be fruitful and multiply. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's something that they were planning to have a baby or what. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. That's her personal life. I don't have no take on that. He was messing with them at the same time. Holly spoke about it in a video that's going around. Well, I was told that is not true. I was told that they were not messing with each other. That Romeca had a whole nother boyfriend, a whole nother man. So I heard that they was not messing around. So I don't know. But I'm not in their bedroom, and I don't even, you know, I'm not in their bed. I'm not in their bedroom. I'm not on their ceiling. Yeah, you know, so I don't live in their house. So, but I was told different. He said the CTA bus cameras caught it too. Okay, cool. That's more footage. I want to see it all. I want to see it all. She says, and we also get to hear the other women who was thought, yes. See, that's a lot of people are ignoring that because they just won't, oh, Holly, go to jail, Holly, go to jail, Holly, go to jail. But what are you going to say when the other women, and there's more than one, what are you going to say when they come out and say that they were stalked, harassed, and threatened by Romeca? What are people going to say? Oh, they conspired. They knew Holly, and Holly told them to do it. And, you know, what are you going to say? What's going to be said when these other women come forward that had similar behavior happen to them from the hands of Romeca? What are people going to say? I just don't know. I believe they're probably going to blame Holly. Oh, Holly told them to do it. She reached into the future and, you know, told them to, or she reached back to the past and I don't know, you know, they're going to make up some wild story, I'm sure. But it's not just Holly that was harassed and stalked by Romeca. And that has to come out, you know, it has to come out. She said, I was definitely on the Romeca train, but I sat back and opened my mind and ears to get all the facts before just taking a side and riding with it. I just want justice for her son and Holly get a fair run. Exactly. And I want the same thing. I want the exact same thing. I want the exact same thing. Holly needs a therapist who's getting pregnant by this man again. Yeah, I don't know what type of question that is. I don't know what type of question. I be wondering why people be worried about other people's coochie and what goes in it. I just don't get that. I honestly do not understand why people worry about what goes in another woman's coochie. I thought we supposed to man our own coochie. We supposed to worry about who we getting it. I don't get that. I honestly do not understand why people get so fixated on someone else getting sex down or having a baby by somebody, or you know what I mean? Like they be so worried about another person's coochie so much. I just don't understand that. I've seen that throughout this this YouTube street a lot. I just don't get it. I don't know. Maybe one day. I saw a video of where Romeca's cousin chasing a woman to the police station. Yep. I heard about that too. Yes, I have. And she will most likely be in that courtroom. In that courtroom. So I did hear about that. She said, dude has been lying his ass off about everything. I never told him some shit like that. I don't know what you're speaking on. Years ago in South Georgia, where I am from, two women fought over a baby daddy. One held the baby in her arms and dropped the baby, and the baby didn't make it. Both in prison. No man worth fighting over. No man is worth fighting over. Absolutely not. No man is worth fighting over. And that's why I would have went and got a restraining order too. I'm not trying to fight your ex, your baby mama. I would have got a restraining order too. This is Chicago, Cook County. They will send Holly downstate prison. Okay. This wasn't worth over a nigga. Yep, sure wasn't. Especially if you already had another man. Absolutely not. She said, that's funny. He said he got it from you. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I think, oh, you're talking about David. Okay, you're talking to David. If he cared how you could be, oh, wait a minute. If he cared how you could be with someone who KI'd your baby mama and be cool with her just don't make sense. Well, I mean, so you're saying that he should have broke up with Holly because she unalived his other baby mama? You think that should be an automatic breakup? Do you really believe that? Because if he feels that it was self-defense too, you think that he should have just broke up with her even though she was defending herself? Yeah, I don't know about that one, sweetheart. I don't know about that one. There are facts. Okay. Being active in a child's life does not make him a great person in every area of his life. Often men can be nice to kids, but horrible to their baby mama. Vice versa. Being a mother don't make you a great person either. Just because you have 6 children, you know what I'm saying, and you keep a roof over their head doesn't mean that you're a great person either. So that goes both ways. Absolutely, you're correct. If Carlos was such a bad man, why was Romeca fighting, threatening, and harassing for him? Nah, think he was and is a good man. That's something to think about. If he was such a bad man, then why risk threatening someone, violating a court order, by restraining order, not just on Holly, but it seems like there's a couple of other females that he has dated that, you know, she turned up over as well, right? So if he was such a bad man, yeah, I don't know if hold on one second, you guys. I don't know if that she'll be cutting the food like that and violating a restraining order to get at the female if he was such a bad man. I don't think so. I don't think so. Someone was going around saying Carlos told Holly the last time he slept with Romeca was Valentine's Day. She came on Q Live and said that's a lie. He never told her that. From my knowledge, from what I heard, that they haven't slept together in over 2 years. Okay, over 2 years. So I think some bloggers may have been putting out false information because, you know, they always try to paint a bad picture of people, and that's one of the things that they try to attack people on. You know what I'm saying? But I heard that he hasn't slept with her over 2 years, you know, but that's, I don't really care because I don't care when the last time he slept with his baby mama because, you know, I'm not in his pants and I definitely don't want to be, you know, in her pants. It's not the man's fault when a man moves on. So should you. The way a lot of y'all think is creepy. I do think that a lot of women think that because she was the first baby mama that she will always have access to him or something like that. Well, yeah, that don't work like that. How did Carlos move on and was still bothering her? He used Holly to make Romeca jealous, but it didn't work. I think those were rumors, Rika. I think those were rumors. I think those were rumors. I think he knows she didn't unalive her intentionally. David, didn't Holly find out she was pregnant after getting arrested? She just found out last night, actually. The state is going on video and the state is going on video and witnesses. This person doesn't know either woman. How can a woman co-sign her man beating up another woman? Crazy, just crazy. How can a woman co-sign her man beating up another woman? Crazy. What do you mean? What do you mean a woman co-signing her man beating up another woman? Elaborate. I don't know what you're talking about. Elaborate a little bit more. Are you saying that Holly co-signed Carlos beating up Romeca? Is that what you're saying? Elaborate on that for me. I'm 32. I had my share of being Romeca chasing out the baby daddy and fighting over him. And I've also been Holly, but sometimes you got to let go and move on because D comes, dime a dozen, and it does. And it does. Please don't be getting no physical altercations over no man. Just let him go. Especially if y'all done broke up and you done moved on too. Just let him go. Let him be with whoever he want to be with. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like that person or not. Keep your hands to yourself and let him go. Some people are too emotionally invested and not focused on the facts. Pressed already. I'm back in the bushes listening. Love my sister though. Keep bringing the great content and more. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Carlos didn't fully move on. I was having sex with Romeca. That was rumors. That was rumors. Allegedly. He did try to take her to the blind spot. You have to get updated information. They see Los gripping her up in a headlock and punching her, honey, and Holly banging on the hood of Romeca's car. Sweetheart, if that was the case, they would have brought that out in court today. So when you say you need to get updated information, guess what? We all about to get some updated information once this trial started. But I think a lot of things put out were rumors. So just hold your horses and guess what? We all gonna get some updated information together, okay? Together. But if Holly was banging on the car and all of that stuff, I'm sure that would have also been in mentioned in court today as well. All right. I can bet my last dollar the other side, Bree haters, is fighting against Holly, just putting 2 and 2 together on the hate for Romeca and the love hashtag for Holly. Wish Romeca was here to send her RCP. What do you mean? What's RCP? To send her RCP. Tell me what you mean. Is living in the kitchen. Black people need our own NRA organization because if she was white, she would be protected. Marley, girl, you just said a word, child. You said a word. They'll be rallying behind her like crazy. You hear me? They will be rallying behind her like crazy. Like crazy. That's crazy. She wasn't defending herself. She was defending him. That's why they bumped fists. That's speculation, and I actually don't believe it. I believe she was defending herself. If somebody coming toward me, yeah, I say that's defense, but we'll find that out. That's going to be in court. We'll find that out in court. They said that Romeca broke away and Holly shot her. I think the shots are where the first degree came from. The pause and the shots where the first degree. Oh, you think the pause and the shots is where the first degree came from? I heard the first degree came from they're trying to say it was intentional and planned because they did the fist bump. So that's what I heard, that they're trying to say that was the intent. You know what I'm saying? The fist bump and everything, saying, hey, we did that, in so many words. But I am really looking forward to the discovery and all of this stuff coming. I'm talking about all of this stuff. But what I don't think is going to come out is who Holly was sleeping with, who Romeca was sleeping with, who Carlos was sleeping with, because that's actually irrelevant. That's actually irrelevant. And I think those that are obsessed with that, I think you might just want to dial back just a little bit, because that has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. It really doesn't. If you look at the cars, she was fighting with her baby daddy. Romeca always fought with Carlos. That evidence and those videos and witnesses are irrelevant. Carlos told her not to shoot. Watch 9 p.m. You said the evidence and those the evidence and those videos and witnesses are irrelevant. Miss, what's your name? Mrs. Brown. They wouldn't have a case with no evidence, videos, or no witness. Okay, sweetheart? They would have no case, none whatsoever. So if they didn't have evidence, yeah, how in the world can you prove a case with no evidence? No evidence, no videos, and no witnesses, no case. Okay, yeah. Y'all acting slow. They were still effing. Even Holly knew that. Why are you worried about are you okay? Are you okay? Are you going through something? How is that relevant? What's that? Are you dating him? Was he messing with? I don't get, what's the relevance? What is the relevance? What is the relevance? It won't even be brought up in court. There's no relevance. She said, Holly is the one that did the I would never live telling how horrible he treated Romeca. So no, he is not a good man. I don't know. I don't know if he's a good man or not. I don't know. Define a good man. Define a good man. He's the common denominator. This shit is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. The only real facts that was ever presented here is when Bree, the victim, was able to prove it to y'all, but unfortunately, she can't. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. So why that's a rumor? Because it's a rumor because we wasn't in their pants. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see it. We didn't see no camera footage of them having sex. So that's why it's a rumor. Do you know that you cannot prove that two people had sex unless you actually seen it? So that's why it's a rumor, because we don't know if they had sex, and who cares at this point if they were having sex. But if a person say they wasn't having sex, how can you prove that they were having sex? It's a rumor until you can prove it. Okay? So I just feel like most of these women supporting Romeca are comparing this case to their past traumatic experiences in relationship with men, but that's foolish because they can't receive the facts. I think a few of them in here can't receive the facts, but I will say that I think a lot is going to come out in court. that's going to, you know, it's going to be relevant facts. I don't think whether or not he was still sleeping with her is relevant. I don't think that. And, we just have to look at the fact that there was a restraining order in place. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that ever again, but there was a restraining order in place. Romeca violated the restraining order when she pulled up. Okay. Even if you want to say she didn't see Holly, the moment she saw Holly, she was supposed to retreat. That's law, not amora. You know what I mean? She was supposed to retreat and leave. Retreat means leave. She was supposed to leave. And the fact that she engaged in any physical altercation, and she did. Why? Because that's what the police document actually stated. It said that they got into an argument which escalated to Romeca battering Holly, is what the paperwork said. Romeca was battering Holly. Okay. So the fact that they did get into a physical altercation, she was 100% in violation of a lawful active order. So that's something that can't be looked over no matter what. No matter what, we cannot look that over. But what I will say, I did listen to Tia today, even though I don't agree with everything that she was saying. Well, let me just say it like this. The thing that I don't agree with is the that she didn't get served on the restraining order, and she did get served. After that, I actually kind of tuned her out. But what I will say, what was I about to say about Tia? Damn, I just forgot. It'll come back to me in a minute because I was actually about to say something that she said. It'll come back to me in a minute. I was actually about to say something about her. But nevertheless, all of this will come out in court. All of this will go before the court. The defense attorney will have to do their job. The state will have to do their job. And guess what? We're going to listen to some real facts. We're going to listen to some real facts. Okay. That's true, Kissy. I do agree with you on that one. She said this case highlight broader issues of gun violence, messy personal relationship, and how quickly domestic conflicts can escalate into tragedy. It does. It absolutely does. But it goes a little further, though. And what do I mean by that? It also speaks on the need for people to learn how to obey the law, okay, and not harass people and not put their hands on other people. So yeah, it is definitely a broader issue that needs to be talked about, especially something more than whether they was having sex or not. Yeah. So this case definitely brings out a whole lot more issues. Gun violence, definitely, right? Messy personal relationships, definitely. Domestic violence, definitely. But also obeying the law, keeping your hands to yourself, not harassing people, not stalking people, and just learning how to just move on. That's a broader conversations that really need to be had, you know. She said it wasn't name calling. It seems like y'all don't like what I'm saying. I ain't being disrespectful, not once, but go ahead. No, I haven't seen you be disrespectful. I haven't read no disrespectful comment from you. She said, but I don't see all the comments though. She said, we are talking about a court case. Some are just reaching. Yeah, I do. I understand, but it's a lot of people emotions are high, and I mean, this is only day 2, right? Day 2. And a lot of people are probably still kind of in shock, like, damn, she was charged. I actually think that it's an overreach in the charge, first degree, like, oof, that's an uphill battle. So I do think it's an overcharge, but I also think once the defense brings out all of their evidence, I think that we're gonna get we're gonna get a really good earful. You know what I'm saying? A really good earful. But tomorrow, again, you guys, I'm actually going to break down the inconsistencies of the witness statements, just the 2 that I know of, because I actually heard there were more witness statements, but just the one that said Holly was in the wrong, she was the aggressor, And I think that's the Puerto Rican lady. And then the one that said Romeca was the aggressor. So we're going to break down both of those tomorrow. She said, girl, all your facts be wrong. Those other girls you keep mentioning are irrelevant. The fact is in plain sight. Watch at 9. Carlos will flip the script. Why don't you watch at 9? I'm going to wait until the court, to the trial, and then I'm going to watch. Okay. Now, I don't understand why you think all those girls are irrelevant. Yeah, you may not understand how evidence and witnesses work, but they absolutely matter, because if they also had restraining orders on Romeca, and if they also was harassed by Romeca, they absolutely are not irrelevant. They're very much relevant. Just like the Diddy case, remember? Diddy did something to just what's the lady name, y'all? Kathy, right? But look how many other women came forward, and men, that said that they was treated similar by Diddy. So I don't understand what you mean when you say they're irrelevant. Listen, during trial, everything comes out. Even if Holly popped somebody else in the past, it would be relevant. If Holly had a restraining order on her, it would be relevant. So for you to say Romeca harassing other women the same way she did Holly is irrelevant, yeah, no, I'm going to need you to keep watching, okay? Okay. So did Carlos and Holly trick Romeca into coming over there to unalive her, because some keep saying it was premeditated? No, that was, in my opinion, a bold-faced lie that started by some bloggers. That's a bold-faced lie. Okay. How you gonna trick somebody to come over, but then you want them to leave? You want them to get in the car and leave? It just doesn't make common sense. I think y'all should not get too invested, because y'all will be sick if she get convicted. I don't think anybody is going to be sick, sweetheart. Nobody's catching colds. Nobody catching the flu. Nobody's throwing up. Nobody's going to be sick, sweetheart. You know? As a blogger, we cover a lot of cases, and it may be an outcome that we don't like, but we're not about to be sick, sweetheart. I don't think anybody's going to be sick. No, that's just not how it works. The only time I got sick when I heard some news is when President Trump made the president for the first time. I was sick. That's the only time I got sick over some news off the internet. Yeah, I was pretty much sick. Yeah. But that was only the first time. The second time, I didn't even give a fuck. But the first time, I was sick. So, yeah. Amor, can you give your definition of premeditation? I mean, premeditation is planned. However, in the state of Illinois, they don't even have to prove premeditation for a first degree. So premeditation is actually irrelevant, because that premeditation does not have to be proven for a first degree charge. But premeditation just means that they planned it. But what I think you may be thinking of is intent. But premeditation is just something planned. They premeditated. They thought about it. They planned it out, you know. So a lot of people are saying they premeditated because it briefs well. They think that she went and got the restraining order because in the back of her mind, she was like, yeah, I'm going to get you, sucker. You dirty mother effer. I'm going to get you. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to go get this restraining order. Yep. I'm going to have a judge sign it because I know you ain't going to come to court. You ain't going to fight this. I'm going to lie. I'm going to tell them you harassed me and my family 19 times. And I know you ain't going to come to court because you don't like court. I'm going to say this. And then I know you're going to miss court and I'm going to get it by default. And then once I get it, I'm going to tell Carlos, hey, text your baby mama. Tell her to come on over for a second. And then Carlos going to text you and he going to tell you to come on for a second. And I'm going to pretend like I'm just putting my baby in the car. And then when you pull up, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to talk shit to you because I want you to move forward toward me. And then my baby daddy is going to come grab you and hold you back, right? because he gonna pretend that he's trying to restrain you, but he ain't really trying to restrain you. He just wants somebody on the bus to see him trying to restrain you, but he ain't really gonna be trying to, right? And then all of a sudden, he know you strong, he know you mad, and he know you gonna get a loose, right? So that's what's gonna happen. He gonna be holding you, he gonna be holding, and you still gonna be trying to get away. And then the moment you get away, I'm just gonna end it for you. That's what you guys sound like. That's what you guys sound like, okay? That's what you guys sound like. You're not thinking. That would be premeditated. I actually do not think Holly knew that she was going to see Romeca that day. And to be honest with you, in Romeca's defense, I don't think Romeca knew she was going to see Holly that day. I think that she was driving by and just so happened to see her baby daddy with his new girlfriend, and she pulled up. I honestly do not believe that neither one of the young ladies planned this. I think it was an unfortunate circumstance. I believe that Romeca wanted to fight her and then just get back in the car and just leave. But I believe that Holly was scared of Romeca and did not want to engage in a fight. I think because her son was there, she wanted to protect her son and herself. And I think that's why she did what she did. And again, all the facts are not out, and we will see all the facts play out in court if it makes it that far, which I believe it will. She said, Naja Hall or more, look at her 17-minute video. I thought it was consistent with what they're doing, with what who's doing. Let me pull her up because I did ask permission. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Welcome back to now. All right. I actually will believe her before I believe Tia, that lady. News. So we have some breaking news. Holly Quadasia Johnson has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of 31-year-old Chicago mother, Romeca Meeks.
Speaking news, we just got this update on a fatal shooting that happened back in September in the South Loop. Quadasia Holly Johnson is now charged with first-degree murder in the death of Romeca Blackman. Johnson and Blackman share children with the same man, and we do know that man was also at the scene when the shooting happened. Johnson was initially taken into custody, but then released shortly after the shooting. Johnson is set to appear in court tomorrow at 11 in the morning, and we will definitely bring you any updates as we get them on this story.
As you all know, I've been covering this story since the next day after it happened, and opinions have been all over the place. I'm traveling. I just got to my hotel room, but as soon as I turn my phone on, this is the first thing that I'm seeing. I'm getting all these text messages. So what's going to happen? On Thursday, December 4th, she'll stand before a judge and she will enter her plea. Now, a couple of months ago, I told you all that she was getting indicted. Did I not? Welcome back to National News. We have an exclusive. We've just learned that Holly Quadasia Johnson is going to get her day in court after all. The Chicago prosecutor's office is looking at Holly, and she will be facing a jury of her peers. She is officially facing indictment. And what I decided to do was kind of take my mouth off the case because I knew my information was accurate. I just will not ever reveal my sources. Y'all should know that about me right now. I got accused.
Now I will say this. I spoke to Naja and she actually did tell me that Holly would be indicted. So she absolutely is telling the truth because she did say that. She said that she's going to be indicted and told me that her source told her that she would be indicted. Okay, so she is telling the truth. But that was long ass time ago, like maybe 2 months ago or something like that she said that.
Inside, which I absolutely
or maybe 1 month ago. One of them.
Not take a side. I really am interested in this case, just like you are. And I've been able to look at it from a lens of all possibilities. Some people are very emotional about leaning toward one side or the other. My brain doesn't sit there. I legit want to know what happened. This is my prediction. And I'm not saying I'm going to be right about everything, but this is my prediction. So remember when I said, and y'all can go back, as a matter of fact, I'll tag that video when I had mentioned, y'all, this girl is getting indicted. It was not public news. Nobody put it out there yet. I just found out from my source, right? So now that a charge has actually come down, it's a first-degree murder charge. Now, she immediately pled self-defense. We know that she spent some time locked up the day of the murder, the day of the crime, and then she was let go because it seemed that they had taken her self-defense plea. I have no doubt in my mind that the pressure from the public, the family, how popular this story was, and I said it before on my last video, it's timestamped and dated, go back and watch it. I knew that the state was going to have to do something.
Now, I'm just going to tell y'all this. A lot of people say, they come over and say, Romeca aunt said this, Romeca aunt said that. I don't think that Romeca aunt is receiving, what I want to say. Accurate news. I'll just say accurate news. I don't think Romeca aunt is receiving accurate news, whether somebody in the family is not telling her, or just maybe the state is not speaking to them. Why do I say that? Because she jumped on a panel yesterday and said that this case went to grand jury, and it did not. It did not. But she put that information out saying that I couldn't tell y'all it went to grand jury, but it did. It actually did not go to grand jury at all. So again, I don't think that somebody ain't talking, whether it's somebody in her family ain't talking to her, or maybe the state is not talking to the family. Either or, she definitely passed on incorrect information. But nevertheless, let's continue.
Because we were all making too much noise about this case. People showed up for this case, whether they believe they wanted Holly to go to jail, and some people still want Carlos to go to jail, and some people said Romeca's wrong, like all over the place. This case was polarizing because we saw the letter that Romeca wrote to her son, her 6-year-old baby, right when she dropped him off to school. And it pulled at our heartstrings. Now, what we later started to find out through people releasing private footage of Romeca, and maybe not some of her best moments. They made her look angry. They made her look like a crazy baby mama. They made her look highly volatile and violent. And then we saw that Holly had placed a few complaints and gotten some restraining orders, order protection against Romeca. I'm still not sure, and I will always tell y'all if I'm sure or not. I'm not sure if this is the case. This one that was awarded was by default because Romeca didn't show up, but that's what my sources say. I've not been able to really see any paperwork. So, if I see the paperwork, if I talk to somebody myself, then I'd be like, hey, y'all, okay. But even if Holly got those last restraining orders of protection against Romeca by default, it still stood.
That's right.
And Romeca did have a violent history.
That's right.
With Holly. Romeca had a violent history with Carlos.
That's right.
Now we've seen videos of her and proof, and seen the phone calls and all the other things of her having a history with other people.
Mm-hmm.
What I think the state of Chicago the city is going to do, Cook County is going to do is, Holly's going to stand before that judge. She's going to enter a plea of not guilty, self-defense. We all knew that because she said it while Romeca was still on the ground, still fighting for her life. She had already said it. Hey, listen, it was self-defense. I got to carry a license. Like, she had already said that in an interesting tone, by the way. She seemed quite calm, but hey, none of us know what we would do if we were in this situation. Thank God, by God's grace, I've never been in that situation, neither have you. And one thing, I saw a lot of people saying, oh my God, Carlos was calm. And then we saw videos later on of him looking like almost he was dissociated. He was panicked. Exactly. That did not look like a person that wanted that woman to die.
Absolutely.
Holly has been posting on social media. She thought that this was over. And I say, y'all need to be quiet for about 5 years, because there's a case that I'm following, and I just posted the video last week.
Now I just have to stop her. Holly did not think that this was over. So I just have to push back on that. She knew that it was still a possibility that that this case will go to trial. So I don't know why she would say that.
About when the lady flew from New York City to go and take the life of the woman that her baby daddy that she was pregnant by. She flew to Florida to go take that woman's life and hop her butt back on a plane. That woman just got sentenced, and this was 2.5 years ago. She just got sentenced to life in prison. And that man that she killed that other lady over is already engaged, and he has custody of that baby, and some other woman is going to be calling that baby hers. So one thing that I realized is you need to stay off social media in cases like this. Holly was back on social media. Holly's family was talking on social media. She did not come off as a likable or sympathetic character. Carlos online came off as cocky, arrogant, unlikable. I don't really think there was much that he could have said. He could have groveled. He could have dumped Holly publicly. He could have called Holly out and just discredited her and all that, said she was guilty. And I don't think people still would have seen him as a character that deserves sympathy. The state looks at all of this. They are going through social media just like you and I are. They're coming. This is where they get their evidence from. This is where they even get swayed through the court of public opinion. So December 4th on Thursday, 2026, this girl has been charged. Y'all got this girl charged with first-degree murder. And she's going to get up there and they're going to say, how do you plead? And she's going to say, not guilty, not by reason of insanity, not because she didn't pull the trigger. She's going to say, not guilty because it was self-defense. And I have all this paperwork to prove it. And Romeca's family says, okay, well, she went and got all this paperwork to create a paper trail. That could be very well true. But now we're going to start to see some of the body cam footage. That's going to come out. A lot of us have already started requesting that. And because it's an ongoing case, it's tough to get that stuff. But that's what I do when I study these cases. We go to the county and say, can we get that body cam footage so we can examine it, so we can go over it with our audience? They ain't releasing that to us yet. And when I saw they were not going to release that, I said, oh, somebody's going to do something. Let me tell y'all my theory, and you're not going to like this. But y'all know, hey, listen, I'm going to be in the comments after I post this video so you can tell me how you feel about it. But I block you, though, so just be careful. This is a fair space.
See, I don't be blocking. Maybe I should, because, baby, I had 140 people come for me, baby. But I don't even be blocking. I just say, get it off your chest, baby. Get it off your chest. Respectfully, though, y'all. Respectfully.
But let's not be disrespectful or ugly with each other.
Right.
Feelings are high. We talk about a bunch of emotional cases on here. So it's a first-degree murder charge. So let me just open up my computer. First degree, when I saw that, and not to ramble on, but in that last video, I was like, okay, they're going to do a big charge because they want to shut us up. I'm sorry, Chicago. I'm sorry to the state's attorney. I'm sorry to the prosecutor's office. They want to shut us up. Let me type this in. First-degree murder.
Now, this is my first time seeing this video, y'all. So I'm already interested to hear what she has to say, because so far I am agreeing with her. Okay. I'm very interested in what else she has to say.
What's the meaning of first-degree murder? So I think they gave her this charge because they don't necessarily want to convict this lady.
Oh, wow.
I think the state thinks that this woman was well within her right to defend her person, to defend her child, her space from Romeca, who she had already asked the state to.
So is she going to say that she feel that they overcharged on purpose because they know they cannot win? Is this what we are about to hear? Let me see. Hold on.
Help restrain away from her. Romeca, we know Romeca did approach her. We know that she was over there. We know that Holly was over there. Quadeja was with her boo, her baby daddy. Romeca spotted them, came over to where they were. That's, at this point, a fact that we just cannot argue anymore, no matter.
I am agreeing with this reporter. I am agreeing with her right now. Hold on. Let's finish. It seems like we might have the same type of mindset, but let's continue.
How do you feel about that? So first-degree murder is the most serious form of criminal homicide.
Absolutely it
generally
is.
defined as the intentional, willful, and premeditated killing of another person.
Intentional. One thing, it can't be intentional. Well, let's continue. But I don't think it could be intentional when somebody pull up on you. But let's continue.
The exact definition and penalties vary significantly by jurisdiction within the United States. To secure a conviction for first-degree murder, prosecutors typically must prove specific elements beyond a reasonable doubt. The reason I think that they issued this charge is because they know they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
That is absolutely true. There's so much doubt. The number one doubt is you got inconsistent witness statements. And I told y'all the defense attorney is going to dog walk the witnesses. She gonna dog walk the witnesses. I'm not even an attorney and I can dog walk the witnesses. She gonna dog walk the witnesses. Trust.
I think they handed out this charge to calm emotions, to shut us up, to pacify us. Because why would you give such an insurmountable charge that's really tough to prove? And listen, let's put our emotions aside.
Oh Lord, no, I know she ain't talking about putting the emotions aside. Hey,
personal feelings aside. Let's put aside how attached we became to that sweet note that this young woman wrote her baby, to this beautiful big brown eyes of this motherless little boy. If you can, I need you to put this to the side. And if we're going to look at the facts, was this premeditated? Did that lady say, I'm going to go to where I know Romeca's going to be?
Oh Lord. If she reads my mind, hold on, y'all. I done messed it up. Is this lady reading my mind or what? Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
After I post this video, so you can ask the state to help restrain away from her. Romeca,
hold on.
I don't think the state wants to lock her up. I think the state.
Hold on, I messed up, y'all. Give me a second.
That's at this point a fact that we just cannot approach her.
Give me a second, I messed up.
Her space from Rome. They want to shut us up.
Okay, I gotta start from here.
Chicago. I'm sorry to the state's attorney. I'm sorry to the prosecutor's office. They want to shut us up. Let me type this in. First-degree murder.
Sorry, I messed up, y'all.
Want to convict this lady. I don't think the state wants to lock her up. I think the state thinks that this woman was well within her right to defend her person, to defend her child, her space from Romeca, who she had already asked the state to help restrain away from her. Romeca, we know Romeca did approach her. We know that she was over there. We know that Holly was over there. Quadeja was with her boo, her baby daddy. Romeca spotted them, came over to where they were. That's at this point a fact that we just cannot argue anymore, no matter how you feel about that.
That's true.
So first-degree murder is the most serious form of criminal homicide, generally defined as the intentional, willful, and premeditated killing of another person. The exact definition and penalties vary significantly by jurisdiction within the United States. To secure a conviction for first-degree murder, prosecutors typically must prove specific elements beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yep.
The reason I think that they issued this charge is because they know they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. I think they handed out this charge.
It's called fluff. It's called fluff. It's called sprinkling sugar on a pile of shit is what they did. It's called fluff. And they actually should be ashamed of themselves. But nevertheless, let's keep watching.
To calm emotions, to shut us up, to pacify us. Because why would you give such an insurmountable charge that's really tough to prove?
Very tough.
And listen, let's put our emotions aside. Let's put our personal feelings aside. Let's put aside how attached we became to that sweet note that this young woman wrote her baby, to this beautiful big brown eyes of this motherless little boy. If you can, I need you to put this to the side. And if we're going to look at the facts, was this premeditated? Did that lady say, I'm going to go to where I know Romeca's going to be, and I know she's going to drive up to me and come over here where I am and bang on the car and threaten to hurt me and my baby again? And by the way, all of the voice recordings are going to be released of the points of contention in these women arguing. What we've seen online ain't nothing.
Whoa, wait a minute. She said what we seen online ain't nothing, baby. She ain't lying. She ain't lying.
Compared to the death threats, like to all of the things that are about to come out in this case. I don't know if it's going to sway your opinion, but it's going to make you say, ooh, okay. So maybe this girl was afraid for her life, and all she has to be able to do is make the jury doubt that. Because in order for them to get a conviction of first-degree murder, they have to show beyond a reasonable doubt that it was premeditated, intentional, and willful. Now, she had the gun there. She was there. Some would argue that if she was so afraid of Romeca, why on earth was she near a place? I don't think that
she's legally allowed to be there. It's not a factor.
Going to hold up in court. I don't think that's going to hold up in court because we get a restraining order because we say, hey, if you see me, you need to stay 500 feet away.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
You said 1,000 feet away from me. And if a person breaks the law, then you're well within your rights to defend yourself.
And they be saying, Amore, I don't know what she's talking about. I think I do.
I think that she's going to get a lesser charge. First-degree murder. Let's see what first-degree murder in Chicago sentence. Let me type that.
Life
in Chicago. Let's see how long, if she got convicted of first-degree murder, how long will she stay in jail?
20 years or something like that. 20 times.
And I'm in this hotel, y'all. My internet is running super slow. Okay. So penalties for the conviction can range from a minimum of 20 years to life in prison without parole for offenders over 21 or the possibility without parole for offenders under 40. So if she gets convicted of that, we're talking 20 years. I think she's going to get a lower, and it's going to be a while. We'll see, because now she's going to have to appear. I think she will be granted a bond. They're not going to say they're going to keep her.
Not into January, though. But Morena, I think that's how you say your name. You said a weapon was used on a person that was unarmed. Can you do me one favor? That's all I'm going to ask you. Just do me one favor. And I just need you to tell me yes. I need you to do me one favor, just one. The favor that I want you to do, and I want you to come back and tell me this, and I'm going to read it once you say it. I want you to look up what you just wrote and say, can a weapon be used in a self-defense case if the other person is unarmed? I just want you to look it up, and I want you to come back, and I want you to post the answer in the chat. Can you do that for me? Thank you.
There until a trial date. They are going to give this girl, they're going to give Holly Quadeja Johnson a bond. She'll be able to go home to Carlos and her baby, and they'll be able to live as a family until this hearing starts. And then at the hearing, she will have to defend. She'll have to fight for her own life now. Her attorneys, she's going to have to pay, her and her family are going to have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for the top attorneys to keep her out of jail or to get her as short a sentence as possible. I think in order to calm the public, I do think that she'll get, just because public outcry has been so great and the national attention, well, at least for those of us that really care, this has been on our minds and hearts. This is why a lot of y'all know me. Because this case right here, this case sparked me to start studying other cases of femicide. I've posted some other videos. I'm putting videos out every Wednesday because unfortunately, this is not the only one like this. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, this is kind of what we talk about. And I want to start.
Let me just stop for 1 second and just say this, because I see Earth Energy says Naja originally said there would be no charge. You do understand that people can say something, and when more evidence come out, they can change their mind. You guys have to stop, you know, making people stick to just one thing. Things change. When more evidence come out, then people can have a right, you know, reserve the right to change what they originally said. She may not have thought so, but then when you do more digging, you find out more information. You talk to people that have more insight, and you have the liberties to change what you originally said. You guys got to stop doing that, because a lot of bloggers will do that and run to their channel and then mock you for things that, you know, they even think you said, because they don't have no other content and they don't know how to break down stories. So all they do is stalk you just so they can run to their channel and mention you so they can get a view. But y'all have to stop doing that, okay?
Going more into the psychology on why on earth, not blaming either person. The cases that I'm studying typically are going to involve a man in the middle. Because if there were no Losos Ways, no Carloses of the world, if he somehow had not allowed these women to intermingle, I don't know if there was some crossover in their relationship. I know what the rumors say. I'm
glad she said, I know what the rumors say, because a lot of people won't say it's just rumors. They'll take off with it like it's facts, like they in the man's bedroom, like they're in the man's bed. But that's what we got to start doing, calling a rumor a rumor. We can't just be like, oh yeah, he was sleeping with 15 women. We don't know that. Call it what it is. It's a rumor.
This have happened, or you know, it's anyway. I'm not gonna start rumbling and bumbling here, but yeah. So I don't think she's gonna get that, y'all. I don't think she's gonna get that. The case that I mentioned earlier about the lady, the New York lady, and it's posted. I'll tag that video. Now that woman, that was premeditated. She bought a plane ticket, went to go kill that girl.
Yeah, that was premeditated.
Put the girl's clothes on. But she killed her because her clothes were all bloody, and then got on the plane and came back to New York.
Yes, that was absolutely premeditated. Absolutely premeditated.
So that's premeditated. That's why she got life in prison. This ain't that. And I know it was a different state, but then they still have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So Thursday, I'll be back. Obviously, we're back now. We're back on this case. And we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. We all know that she's going to plead. Holly Quadeja Johnson is going to plead not guilty. Will Carlos show up in court with her? Is Romeca's family going to come to the sentencing? Will they be able, because they're emotional, they are hurt. She only died. She only passed in September. It hasn't even been 64 days. She only recently left. So, you know, how are they? Are they going to be able to be there? Can they keep their composure? I hope that they can, because this process is started because of the noise everyone has made about this case, about hopefully seeing Romeca get whatever the public's, your own perception or your definition of vengeance and justice. We're here now. So I'm back on this case, and when I hear something, you'll hear something. You all have a good night, and thank you so much for tuning in to Naja.
Okay, so I think that she made some very valid points, kind of mirror what I've been saying. First degree was just a reach, you know, and I hear a lot of bloggers saying, no, it was the perfect charge. They did right. Y'all gonna see. Yeah, well, okay, we will see. But first degree is a reach. I absolutely think it was a very high reach. And yeah, she said it's definitely going to trial. That judge ain't playing about Quadeja. He said it all today. Well, unfortunately, he won't be the judge that's going to trial with her, Scora. He won't. He's not a trial judge. He's just a bond judge or detention judge. So he won't even carry the trial. She says, how do you know she wasn't in imminent danger? Well, whoever said that don't know. They don't know. I only repeated what she said because we can respect her opinion, but don't have to necessarily believe it's true at the time. Yeah, that's true. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it. A fist fight can lead to great bodily harm and or death. It can. Absolutely it can. And actually someone sent me, actually, you know what? Somebody sent me a story on that today. Who sent me that story? Let me see who sent me that story. Somebody sent me a story where two people got in a fight and two people got in a fight. Who sent me that story? Somebody sent me a story where two people got in a fight and one person was unalive and had no weapon. Neither one of them had weapons, but one of the guys was unalived. I can't remember who sent it to me, but yeah, so you don't need a weapon to unalive someone. Judge said today she was not in imminent danger. Actually, he really didn't say that. What he said was that her fist bumping Carlos doesn't seem like self-defense to him, is what he said. However, he hasn't heard everything else. Okay, he hasn't heard that, that she was being threatened by Romeca and a bunch of other things. So he don't know that part. None of that came out today. So when that comes out, I think that we need to hold on to our wigs. If we have some wigs, we may need to hold on to some wigs, because I do believe that some things are going to come out that people are not going to want to hear. They're not going to want to believe it. They're not going to want to hear it. They're not going to want to care about it. Okay. So, but again, Naja thinks she's going to get released, I guess, the next court date. I actually don't. I think that she's going to have to wait until she go before the trial judge, because that's a different type of judge. That's a different type of judge. They're used to dealing with things like this. First appearance judges, they don't deal with things like this. They just do first appearance, detention hearings, and bond hearings, and then that's it. That's all. That's their level of expertise. She said they both were rough around the edges. Are you talking about both females were rough around the edges? I think we all a little rough around the edges, don't you think? She says, I don't know, y'all. We just have to wait for December the 23rd. You right about that, Morena. I do think that, I think I just jacked up your name. Tell me how you pronounce your name. You can break it down for me. But yeah, I definitely think that we should wait. I think that the people that celebrated big yesterday, kudos to them. But I just think that we need to wait, because I don't think this case is going to be as cut and dry as people think it is. I don't think that. I don't see it at all. And this is coming from looking at the law and evidence. And that's just the evidence that we know about. We don't even know about all the evidence. Again, everything has not came forward. Everything has not came public. So she said there is no bonding out for first degree murder in Illinois. It's not bonding out, but you can be released. There is a such thing as being released from detention. There is a such thing. They already put everything bad out about Romeca, so the only surprises will be about Holly. Not true, Earth Energy. We don't know those. We don't know. We don't have everything out, sweetheart. Everything is absolutely not out. Everything is absolutely not out. We haven't seen no video footages. We haven't seen, some of the text messages that were sent out. We haven't seen any of that. She said, yes, because the family was clearly saying she was not going to be charged and investigation was closed. And now look, so yes, this is a celebration. Did the family say that she wasn't going to be charged? I don't remember seeing that. I know people are saying that I said she wasn't going to be charged, and that's not true. I went back and pulled transcripts of my own videos, and the only thing I said she wouldn't be charged with was a federal gun charge. because a blogger said that she was that she was going to get a Fed charge for having a gun near school property. And I said she absolutely will not be charged with a federal gun charge. But I always said that the case was still pending and it hadn't closed yet. So, but on the back end, me talking to people on the back end, and they know I said this, I actually told them that I feel that she will get charges, because they called me last night and said, you said it. You said that that she was going to get charges. And I may not even came out here and told y'all, but I had a feeling that was going to happen because of the FOIA that was sent to me. When I looked at the FOIA and I looked at how it was worded, I said, oh, this means a charge is coming. But I just didn't come out here and say it to you guys, because, by that time, everybody had started throwing spitballs at each other. And I was like, let me go on to other commentary and let things calm down. But when I was sent the FOIA and I did an analysis on it, I knew that they were trying to charge her with something. She said Holly will kill again because she did not show any remorse. I really believe this was not the first time she has done it, trying to say today that she is pregnant. I think that's a reach. Ooh, that's a far reach, sweetheart. That's a far reach. Not everything is not everything is not out. Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you. You hear me? I know everything is not out. To unalive someone knowing that she is a mother to the man who you with is just outright sad. It is sad, but to try to beat somebody up or cause harm to someone after making a lot of threats to the woman that is your baby daddy and shares a brother with your child is also outright sad. To want to fight a new woman, period, that your ex that you claim you don't want to be with no more is outright sad. I mean, it's sad all around. We can't just paint Holly as the villain without thinking about what she endured with all these threats to her life. We can't just do that. And I think that's what we're trying to do. There's no winners here. Holly shouldn't have had to endure what she had to endure, and Romeca shouldn't have to endure what she had to endure. So we can't just say what happened to Holly. Let's just disregard that. Let's disregard the fact that she was harassed by this lady. Let's disregard the fact that, her grandmother was harassed by this lady. Let's disregard the fact that, that she had a restraining order in place that she had to go back to court multiple times to get, right? Let's disregard that there was threats done on her child. Let's disregard that. And I think a lot of you guys out here want to just disregard and just lean to one side. Why don't we all just stand in the middle and just say it's sad all the way around on both sides, not just one? It's sad on both sides. Because it is. 2 kids are affected, not just one. But to act like being harassed for, damn near a year or over is okay is not. You wouldn't want that to happen to you, and you wouldn't want it to happen to your daughter. You wouldn't want your stalker running up on you. Romeca was Holly's stalker. She stalked this young lady. How do we know that? The judge signed off on it. The judge deemed Romeca a stalker, whether you like it or not. She was a stalker. And the fact that you guys think that that's okay, it's not. No, I am not being biased. You guys are being biased because the only thing that y'all care about is just Romeca's loss of life. But you don't care about the fact that Holly had to endure being stalked by this woman, being threatened by this woman, her grandmother being threatened by this woman. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that. So that's not being biased. You guys are being biased. Some of y'all, not all, but some of y'all are being biased. That's why I say, let's just wait until more information come out, because it will. And I just want to know, once it do come out, I wonder will you guys be like, damn, I didn't know she did all of that. I didn't know that she was even capable of doing all of that. Damn, she said that. Something that I heard yesterday that Romeca said, I will never repeat it on here because it was downright disgusting. I'm talking about downright disgusting. And if I said it, it will blow your wig back. For real. But I'm not going to say it. If it comes out in court, it comes out in court. But you're not going to hear it on my channel. So let's just wait. There's more evidence. There's more things to come out. So let's just wait. Honestly, let's just wait and let's follow the case. Let's look at the evidence. Let's look at the facts, and then let's make a decision. But let's just let it all come out. I do believe that both the prosecution and the defense is going to lay it all out on the table. He said, I know exactly what you're talking about, and yes, it's going to come out. Yep, David, and I was sick to my damn stomach when I heard that, because what woman says something like that? Right? But I'm not going to say it. It's even sadder that she's now pregnant and is a possibility of giving birth while in jail. They will snatch her baby away from her. Evidence is out on the beating he put on her, the headlock and everything. Baby, it's going to be way more than, and that's just a witness statement. I'm going to tell you something about the witness that said that, and I'm not going to discredit everything that she said. Not discredit. Let me take that back. I'm not going to say everything that she said is not true. But what I will say is the defense is going to shred her to pieces. So I don't think that her statement is going to uphold. Now, what I think that she should have done, I think that she should have just talked to the detective and not put it all out here in the public. Because now she has like 3 versions of her story, her statement. And yeah, I actually believe the defense is going to dog walk her. She got pregnant because she knew she was going to jail. Oh, wow. You guys are really amazing. Y'all are amazing, amazing thinkers. Y'all have these y'all have these, I think y'all, I think y'all are used to sitting with people that feed y'all all of this stuff and make y'all feel warm and fuzzy inside for saying things like that. Oh yeah, let's get pregnant so I won't have to be locked up. Yeah, let's do it. Come on. Yeah, I don't think y'all think before you type, some of y'all. So anyway, I'm about to get off because what I don't want to do is fight with people in the comments, because it makes no sense, to be honest with you. We just putting out possibilities, what's moving forward. You know what I'm saying? We're coming from a legal standpoint and not an emotional standpoint. So to go back and forth with every comment that make the wildest comment, I don't know if this is a contest or not, to let's make the wildest comment or whatever. So I'm going to end this, but what I'm going to do tomorrow, okay, because what I do have is the statement of 2 witnesses. And the 2 witnesses statements that I have are the same 2 that Tia was talking about today, okay? You have one witness that said Romeca was the aggressor, and you have another witness that says Holly was the aggressor. We're going to break that down tomorrow. We're going to talk about what's similar. What do they say that actually added up? Okay. I saw this. I saw this. What was the same? What was the difference? And then the contradictions, because one of the witnesses, we have multiple versions. Now, when I say multiple versions, I mean, on some of them, she extended her statement. Okay. She didn't, the statement that she originally said, she kind of like added on to it and then added on to it and then added on to it. You remember when she said she crawled to him, but then also she said they were trying to put her in a car. And she also said that they moved her body. They move her body. So we will go over those witness statements tomorrow. All right. We will go over the witness statement tomorrow. All right. And she said they get beat up by their boyfriends. That's why they talk like that. Ooh. They said Holly, nobody said Romeca one time on that scene. They said she went to the car and got her gun. So let me ask you something. If it can be proven that she didn't go to the car and get her weapon, that she actually drew it off of her own person, what would you say? Would you say the witness was not telling the truth? Would you say that? If they can prove that from door camera that Holly actually walked out with her weapon on her side, would you still believe that witness? If there's proof or on camera footage that she had a weapon on her, would you still believe that witness that said that she walked around to the car and got it out? Would you believe anything that witness said after that? I don't think she wants to answer me on that one. So anyway, that's it for tonight, you guys. I've been on live twice today, so I will be back on live tomorrow, probably at 1 o'clock, and we will be going over the witness statements. Okay. Oh, tomorrow's Friday. She said, I would believe what I see on video. Oh, you would? Okay. Thank you for that. Me too. I will believe what I see on video too. So we agree on something. But thank y'all for stopping by. Thank y'all for being a very engaging audience. I actually don't mind your comments, but the one about the sex and all that stuff, I actually think that's irrelevant. I don't know why that's always brought up. So yeah, y'all can save those. I really don't care who Holly slept with. I don't care who Carlos slept with, and I damn sure don't care who Romeca slept with. So that's irrelevant to me. All right. Let me read what David said. I know David was in court today, so he knows a little bit more than we do. He said she didn't go to retrieve her gun. No one would leave their sidearm in the car for 3 days straight in Chicago, in the area that people walk down and break car windows all the time. You know what? That makes so much sense. And I already knew she had it on her. But just you saying that, actually, I want people to think about that for a minute. Would you leave your weapon in the car for 3 days? Would you be a licensed carrier and leave your weapon in the car for 3 days? Answer that. Would you leave your weapon in the car for 3 days? Thank you for saying that, David. But I knew that she didn't retrieve her weapon out the car. I know she had it on her person, but people just keep wanting to say all type of crazy things because they heard it from this place and that place and that place, right? But she says, no, ma'am, heck no. Who said it was in the car for 3 days? Well, I mean, she spent the night at his home for 3 days. So to say that it was in the car, right? Somebody said she went to the passenger side. One of the witnesses, one of the witnesses, where the other witness said that the weapon was on top of the car. As she was putting her baby inside, she placed her weapon on top of the car. You see how the inconsistencies, and that's what we're going to speak on tomorrow. We're going to speak on the inconsistencies, okay? All right. All right. So thank y'all for showing up. Thank you, everybody that poured into this live stream. Thank you, Super Lero, Candy Girl, Sonia C, Kim C. I am Glenn for real. S Gumbus, thank you so much. I hope I said that right. Tammy B, thank you. Rita, thank you. Jinhin, thank you. Chocolate Mess, thank you. Dion, thank you. Marissa, thank you. I appreciate you guys for pointing to this live stream. I will come back tomorrow and just speak again on the witness statements and show you how, to be honest with you, that is it's going to be an uphill battle because you have 2 witnesses for the prosecution that actually says 2 different stories. 2 different stories. Okay. Two different stories. That's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. Those witnesses are definitely going to get torn to pieces. Holly lawyer is no joke. Ari is a beast. Yes, I did hear she was a beast. I did. I heard that she never lost a murder trial ever. That's what I've heard, that she never lost a murder trial ever. She has gotten people that has been charged with first degree off that was pending 30 years. So that's what I heard. But you know, that remains to be seen. Okay. But yes, I did hear that she had one badass attorney. All right, but I love y'all so very much. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out. And guess what? We will talk tomorrow. I will put up a thumbnail to let you guys know, so you can go ahead and you know, hit the notification bell or whatever for the thumbnail that I will put out for tomorrow for the live. Amor, did you know Holly never met Romeca? Yes, I did know that. I knew that that was their first time meeting in person. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I did know that. Now in person, but you know, they did meet on the Zoom call. But yeah, in person, that's their first time meeting in person. The only partial, they only partially read the witness statement from the Naja Hall witness today. I wonder why that is. I'm gonna tell you why, David. You want me to tell you why? Because she said Romeca was the aggressor. That's why. She said Holly is going to get a fair trial, and that's all we can ask for. That's all we can ask for is a fair trial. Put it all out. I say put it all out. Put it all out on Romeca. Put it all out on Holly. We want to know all of it. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. We want to know all of it, not just a little bit. But I just pray that she gets a fair trial. And the reason why is because every American citizen is, you know, deserve the right to have a fair trial. This whole situation is sad. The baby daddy is a narcissist. He was running behind Romeca and lying to Holly. Do you have facts on that? Or did you hear that from, is that a rumor? I think that may be a rumor. But anyway, I'm going to end. Thank you guys so much. And we will talk mañana. Hit that thumbs up. Thanks, y'all.
Because they can't make $1 without mentioning down one of our names.
Yay! She kept talking about that family.
Hoes over there.
She kept talking about that family. 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 That family. She kept talking about that family. Talking about that family. These motherfuckers got me wanting to bless them.
Because they can't make $1 without mentioning down one of our